Hey everyone, welcome to Horrible Gaming. My name is Nora and on today's video we are touring my Finnish nighttime themed city. Before we get started, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that like, subscribe, and notify button if you want to see more content like this in the future. So if you've been following me for a while, you know on the channel we have been doing a ton of realistic builds, and this island has many of those builds on it. I wouldn't say that this has a specific theme to it. It's mostly, at least to me, a map dump of basically every single realistic build that we have done. I honestly wish we had a bigger map. There is some things about this island that I didn't like, mostly because I was running out of space. I could not fit all of our realistic builds on it. So it looks like that our other islands we've been working on my channel will have more of these realistic builds on them since we ran out of space. However, I hope that this island gives you an idea on how you can incorporate and transition with these type of builds on your island, and it just gives you some ideas in general. If you're new to my channel and you want to learn how to do a lot of the builds that you're seeing right now on this island, definitely check out my YouTube channel, as all these builds have tutorials on how to build them and more. Again, I have a lot of other builds that I want to do. I just had no space to fit them on this island, so I'm hoping that on the New York theme and on my tropical city, we can incorporate a lot more realistic builds to it. I had a lot of fun doing these builds. It was definitely a hard theme to do, so if you're wanting to go for a realistic city, this is definitely a heads up. It is a very hard theme to do. Like, I almost rage quitted this about 4 times, I want to say, and many of you know that I dirty delete my islands constantly because I get stressed out with just, layouts in general. Well, this one was probably the worst one that I've done in a long time, just because it was so difficult. And I feel like city core, especially when you're not using like the medieval and castle items, it just becomes a lot harder because you really have to capture the illusion that this is a building, and you have to blend your items out to really capture that vibe. And I think that was the hardest part about this island, and I think I'm going to be running into a similar kind of issue when I start working on my tropical island next. That's the next island actually I'm hoping to work on more, is my tropical theme, which is going to use, of course, like a lot of realistic builds on it. So I don't know why I've been doing such hard themes lately. I guess I just wanted more of a challenge, but it is definitely a hard theme to do. So prepare yourself on using a ton of wide display shelves and simple panels, and be ready for all the item blending that this build in this theme just requires in general. I think the next hardest part about this island was definitely the skyline, just blending out the servers and different items to really capture the illusion that this is a further away illusion of the city. Is just a really difficult thing to do in Animal Crossing in general. I wish that we had more server-like items just to capture the illusion that these are buildings. We just need more items, honestly, in general. Like, we just had 2.0. and I feel like we still could use a lot more items, because I see all these great items that Pocket Camp has, and I wish that we had them because it would make our city core themes a lot easier and more realistic to catch. I wanted this island to mostly be an example of how you can transition and add your villager homes and just the regular NPC buildings that we get on Animal Crossing with the city core style too. And I'm hoping that this kind of gives you a visual idea on how you can transition and how to just add these builds in general to your island. I think my favorite build on this was probably definitely the skyline build, mostly because I've been trying to find a reason to actually make this skyline for over a year now. Like, a long time ago I did a build with it, but it was just for an Instagram post, and I really wanted to have at least an island that had, this build on it. And it's very hard to incorporate skylines onto just city core in general, especially when you're using these servers, because it's meant to be seen at nighttime, and obviously I don't really do a lot of nighttime builds. And I think actually, speaking about nighttime, that's what made this build a lot harder too. You have to really focus on illumination and like use a crud ton of lanterns and lights. And honestly, it kind of got me burnt out near the end because I felt like every place just needed so much illumination so you could see where you're going. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I can be really hard on myself when it comes to just building my own islands in general. But I hope that I've captured the big city and realistic vibe well on this island. Let me know what y'all thought about it when you visit. If you want to tag me in your visitation photos, you can. can on Instagram. I would love to see them. I really do hope that this build brings you some inspiration for your own island. I'm hoping that this can be basically a guide for beginners to city core. I feel like it's pretty simple compared to most of my city core. I tried to keep it pretty simple for that reason. So I think that's why I ran out of space, honestly, because I was focusing on simplicity more than detail. But I know that I have a lot of new followers for city core, so I'm really hoping that this kind of like gets you ready and kickstart on making a city core island. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you loved this island. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below, and I'll see you next video. Have a horrible day.